Hello, my name is Grace Anderson, otherwise called a very tired junior in a class filled with sophomores. Now, as I sit in my classes looking around me, seeing some very select people go through the works of all the emotions and behaviors all day, I wonder to myself, why? Well, the real answer to that is hormones. Hormones are defined as a regulatory substance produced in an organism and transported in tissue fluids such as blood or sap to stimulate specific cells or tissues in action. Period. We as humans have many different hormone producers in the parts of our anatomy called the endocrine system. We have the pituitary gland, which is responsible for controlling all the other glands in the system, as well as being the sole reason of why I'm only 5'2". It controls growth. Then there's the thyroid, the mood maker of the endocrine system. This little guy helps regulate body functions like temperature and heart rate, while also secreting hormones. Then there's the parathyroid, which regulates the levels of calcium in the blood, which in turn helps bone growth and health and helps conduct electrical signals in nerve cells. Then there's the adrenal glands. These activate our fight or flight responses and give us almost superhuman strength in life-threatening situations. Then there's the pancreas. It's not all that interesting, but it helps release digestive juices, I guess. Then there's the ovaries, the baby makers of the human body. They're overflowing with estrogen and are pretty important in female anatomy. Then there's the male counterpart to the ovaries, the testicles, which are overflowing with testosterone in turn. I don't think they really need any more introduction. One of the most important things to note about hormones and the endocrine system in general would be how hormones get secreted exactly. When the body needs to produce hormones or cause any hormone-induced function, hormonal stimuli is what actually tells the endocrine organ to start releasing hormones. This is usually caused by the hormonal stimuli actually being released by another endocrine organ. For example, the hypothalamus releases stimuli that facilitates the release of pituitary hormones. Okay, now that we've got a general idea of the endocrine system, it's time to get into how it affects people's moods and emotions. Let's start with happiness. Okay, so happiness is caused mostly due to the release of serotonin, which is considered what we define as a neurotransmitter. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer, but when combined with the release of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, we get what we call a reward reaction, found mostly in dopamine, enacting pleasure and confidence, while oxytocin works to release reactions related to love, which when you put them together, you get joy or happiness. Much like the exact opposite of happiness, sadness is caused by the lack of serotonin and dopamine. Various animal models have demonstrated that chronic stress causes low serotonin levels in the brain. In patients, low brain activity correlates with higher risk for more violent actions and attempted suicides. Also, according to some studies, being outside really does affect how often you're sad. This is because being out in the sunlight slows down serotonin transporters, making them stay longer in your circulation. Epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline, is a chemical compound released while becoming angry. Epinephrine is among the chemicals that are released by the adrenal gland when an individual experiences anger or any form of stress. So that feeling you get after realizing your little brother ate all your pizza rolls is caused by epinephrine. Okay, so now that you don't have any pizza rolls, you're probably feeling what we call hungry. This is because as our stomach becomes empty, a chemical known as ghrelin makes its way into our stomach. It stimulates hunger by entering the brain and acting on the neurons in the hypothalamus to increase the activity of the hunger-causing nerve cells, giving us that rumbly feeling in our tummies. Something that I'm sure everyone feels at some point in the day, no matter what's going on, is feeling lazy. This is caused by a decreased level of motivation, which in turn can be caused by overstimulation or excessive impulses or distractions. These increase the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for reward and pleasure, which gives us that feeling that we really need to sleep even though we probably don't need to. Some of us get scared watching scary movies or being in any stressful situation, but what exactly is that? Fear is a chain reaction in the brain that starts with stressful stimulus and ends with the release of chemicals that cause a racing heart, fast breathing, and energized muscles, among other things, also known as the fight or flight response enacted by adrenaline. Our foe/friend adrenaline is also responsible for yes, that woman lifting the car off her baby, increasing the ability of what human muscles can endure, as well as providing extra stamina in fast thinking and stressful or terrifying situations. Although our hormones help us aid in homeostasis, they can also cause a lot of issues for ourselves and our brains. Disorders like depression, which are caused by the lack of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, ADHD, severe increases in dopamine and adrenaline, OCD, which is caused by low levels of serotonin, and narcolepsy, which is caused by large influxes of hypocretin in the brain, are all examples of this. So hopefully from this video you've learned quite a few things. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.